Hello and welcome back to the Dragon Den. I'm KingofDragons 5000 and today we have another action figure review. In honor of Batman Day, we'll be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse KnightFall 2-pack featuring Batman and Bane. Getting them out of the packaging, you can see that Bane and Batman look impressive together. There is quite a bit of reuse on each of these figures, but there is a lot here that makes some different figures as well. And Bane does have some new parts that does separate him from that original Mega figure. Having a look at their accessories, Batman does come with 3 pairs of hands as well as a batarang. Bane also does come with 2 sets of hands. Getting a closer look at Batman and Bane, you can see that there's some obvious reuse between the two figures. Batman being a complete reuse of that original KnightFall body with a brand new head and cape. And despite reusing some of those old parts from that original Bane figure, there's enough here to say it's a brand new figure as well. Having a look at Batman first, you can see that they did give Batman a grimacing expression. I would have loved to see some more wrinkles on his cowl, but the overall presentation here is quite impressive. From the 5 o'clock shadow that Batman is sporting and the blood dripping out of his mouth, it looks really good. And there is some darker blue to give him some highlights and some contour. As expected, this version of Batman is reusing that McFarlane KnightFall body. He still has the bat insignia on his chest, and I really love the shading that McFarlane put into the torso. Add to it, you can see some battle damage here is painted on quite well, although it's not sculpted on, unfortunately. His arms carry over some impressive detail, especially with the painted damage. It is unfortunate that the battle damage is only painted on, but it still looks impressive. And Batman's gloves are done in this really nice shade of blue, and the contrast to the gray looks good. And as you would expect, he still has the spurs coming out of his gloves. Batman is also sporting a bright yellow utility belt, which looks really good here. The utility belt has some impressive detail with this orange paint giving it some highlights. Unfortunately, Batman's trunks don't have any type of paint on them, giving them any type of texture, so they do look a little bit flat. And his legs still have some impressive muscle striation, although you can see that the battle damage here is just painted on again. It would have been nice if the battle damage was sculpted on, but at least it's painted cleanly. Batman also has his traditional Batman boots, which continue that impressive blue color here. And they keep all the detail that we saw in that original KnightFall Batman, so there are some folds and wrinkles at his boot. And this version of Batman is sporting a fabric cape. The cape is two-tone, as we have blue on the outside of the cape and black on the inside. And we do have some wireframes running along the sides of the cape. Having a look at Bane, he does look quite impressive here with this new head sculpt. McFarlane has done a great job capturing the look of Bane from KnightFall, and the detailing on his mask is quite impressive. The red lenses on his mask look good, and the dirty white parts of his mask are also painted really cleanly. And something I wasn't a fan of, but it's growing on me, is the blue paint that we have for shading. And on the back of his mask, you can see the components where the venom is plugging into the back of his skull. Bane's torso is also nicely sculpted, where we have this brand new singlet piece. It still carries over the texture that we saw on that original Bane figure, but it is a much needed clean sculpt for Bane. And just like with his mask, there is some blue paint to simulate some highlights. The musculature on Bane is actually impressive, as we do have some veins on his chest. Add to it, the muscle striation and definition is painted and sculpted wonderfully, even going as far as adding some hair on Bane's shoulders. The top of Bane's arms carry over that impressive paintwork, where we do have his hairy shoulders. On the left arm, we do have the band which holds the venom tube, which connects from the gauntlet all the way to his head. And the gauntlet is reused from that original Bane figure, but we have a brand new control panel. And Bane is sporting fingerless gloves, which do have white studs painted on the knuckles. His belt is the traditional Bane belt, which has that silver disc in the middle, and it has these segmented parts going around his waist. Unfortunately, his pants are not accurate to the KnightFall comic, as these are cargo pants and they are carryover from that original Bane figure. And Bane's pants are tucked into his boots, where the boots do have some impressive sculpt work to them. They do a really good job simulating worn leather, and the texture is much different from his pants. Add to it, the laces on his boots are sculpted wonderfully, and once again we have that blue paint to simulate the highlights of Bane's boots. So overall, there is some impressive painted detailing here on both Bane and Batman. And on Bane, it actually does a good job bringing out some detailing here that would have been lost if he was just done in black plastic. And the battle damage is painted cleanly on Batman, and I was surprised to actually see some shading done on him. With the paint and details out of the way, let's compare Batman and Bane to our usual suspects. As you can see, being McFarlane figures, Batman is going to be slightly taller than your standard 6-inch figure, but Bane is going to tower over the rest of your collection. And comparing them to other KnightFall characters, Batman is going to scale nicely with the rest of the Batman from the KnightFall line, but Bane is going to be slightly taller than that original Bane figure. Starting off with Batman's articulation, he does have a double ball joint in the head, ball sockets in the shoulders, arms go out to the side and do a full 360. He has a bicep swivel and a double hinge in the elbow. Ball hinge swivel at his wrists. Batman does have a ball joint in his upper torso and a ball joint in the lower torso. His legs do kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a slight thigh swivel. He has a double bend in the knee, a ball hinge swivel at the ankle, as well as a toe hinge. Finally, Batman does have a very sturdy wireframe in his cape. Moving on to Bane, he does have a double ball joint in the neck, ball sockets in the shoulders, arms go out to the side and do a full 360. He has a hinge and swivel at his elbow. Bane does have a hinge and swivel at his wrist. Bane's also going to have a ball joint in his lower torso. His legs do kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a thigh swivel. He has a double bend in his knees, a hinge in the ankle, forward-facing pin for rocker ankle, and a toe hinge. So Batman is going to be sporting your standard McFarlane articulation, and the articulation here on Bane actually works for the character. There will be limitations due to the sculpt, but overall these two figures will move nicely. With everything said and done about the KnightFall 2-pack, let's get Bane and Batman posed for my final thoughts. KnightFall is such an iconic storyline in the Batman mythos, and it is good to see that McFarlane Toys has finally given us a Bane and Batman from that story. Though we have gotten Batman from the KnightFall storyline in the past, it is good to see a battle damaged version. Even though there isn't any new tooling here on Batman other than the head, it's still a really nice figure. I would have loved to see a little more battle damage on Batman, maybe some more tears and some more blood on him would have looked nice. Bane, on the other hand, is probably going to be the biggest draw of this set, as it is the most iconic look for the character. Even though in the graphic novel Bane wasn't as big as he's portrayed here, I still like the way it looks. It really does give Bane that imposing, menacing look to him, and it looks really good posing him next to Batman. One thing that is growing on me is the added shaded details to both Batman and Bane. I honestly thought the blue paint on Bane would have been a turnoff, but it's actually quite impressive and I'm really liking it the more I look at it. The one major drawback to this set is that it is going to be highly sought after, as Bane is a fan favorite character. If you are looking to add Bane and Batman to your collection, this set is available on Amazon at the time I'm making this video. Any fan of the KnightFall storyline is going to want to pick up this set for this very impressive Bane and this very damaged looking Batman. Thank you for taking the time and watching another video review here on the Dragon Den. Before you go, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my McFarlane videos. If you're in a position to help out the Dragon Den, Check out my Patreon where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragon Knights coming from the Dragon Den, I'm King of Dragons 5000 reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.